Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube, and good morning, everyone. I am enjoying this morning as I have in the past. Many mornings of my 18 plus years here in Alaska. I cherish each morning, each day. I am a veteran, twice, a two-timing veteran. U.S. Navy and then U.S. Army. Shh. I have a hungry kitty cat that's sidling up to me and making me itch by rubbing up against me. I don't have any flea droplets this summer to put upon my outdoor kitty cats, so they have to run around with fleas, I guess. I'm a cat person, by the way, so I am Samuel Lee Flying Horse. And of course I'm without a flame right now. These roll-up cigarettes, you have to, they are high maintenance. They are not like other cigarettes. They are not fire and forget. They are not fire and forget cigarettes, or fire and puff. You gotta keep the air flowing through them or else they'll go out. Actually, you should not smoke at all. Anyway. Our big teepee here. She's a little wrinkled, but I have not set her this summer. I thought my parents would help me later on, but I'm the only one here right now, so. He is the last of his kind. Well, at least here in the village I am. Well, actually, that's not true. My cousin is still here. My cousin came up here a year ago, and then before winter came, my mother moved us in together into one of our old houses that we used to rent, and I stayed with my cousin for about 5 or 6 months. Had some interesting adventures doing that. And then I moved into another house that we had, and away from cousin, and he's no longer with us, and he's not in our lives anymore. So technically my cousin and I are the last of our kind up here right now. But I see him now and then in a village or something, and he's always the jovial person, and he's a bit more forgiving than I am, and he's a bit more Lakota than I am, so I'm a bit more extreme and a bit more unforgiving about some things, and rightfully so. I grew up the way I did and experienced much in life, some of it very hard things, and I can be who I want to be, and as long as I'm not infringing upon other people's health, safety, and liberty, and taking away their freedoms and beating them in captivity and robbery and all that criminal stuff, then it's okay for me to be this way. So likewise, same with anyone else, I guess. But my family has a homestead in South Dakota, that they are tending to right now. So mother is away and the children are away, and I am looking after our place here in the village. See what I mean? A high maintenance cigarette these are. Anyway, I can never stop talking about these teepees. I just love them. It means a lot to me. The culture that I was born into for my latest iteration here on Earth. And of course, I wish I was kind of small enough to fit into that little tree house up there that my dad built for the kids. But my children still weigh about 40 or maybe 50 pounds each. They're still small and cute, and I can't fit up there, so I just climb the ladder or climb one of our step ladders and look up and make sure that there's no contraband and nothing is hidden by the children up there. Currently there's we have a little oven or a refrigerator toy up there, and a couple of chairs for the kids. So, and of course elsewhere in our adult homes, for us adults, we have 2 houses in the village. I stay at one with all my junk and all my parents' excess stuff, and we have Mom's house here in the village. At one time we had 3 homes in the village. So there is much to be grateful for. I'm not one of these poor people, or I am not picked on. I am not oppressed. I don't think I ever was. But I did grow up in a culture and a race that we had genocide done to us, or almost, but we are still here, and we will never leave this land. Anyway, I do post a lot of stuff on Twitter and sometimes Facebook, but you'll have to go read all of my stuff to see what I am about. I can't explain everything to you right now. Don't want to. I was out here just a few hours ago at 4 till 6, just standing somewhere in the trees or somewhere off property and watching the sky. I saw and heard much. Planes flying over. I saw some more strange objects flying over too. None of which were my teepees, thank goodness. But then I saw clouds and a few northern lights, and like I said, some weird phenomena up here. And I did not hear or see any caribou or moose running through the yard like you normally would if you become part of the scenery like I can and sometimes do when I step out into the woods. And if you do see me out in the woods, aside from the little blinking Bluetooth device around my neck, and see me quietly roll up a cigarette in the dark, and I always manage to get the gummy paper inside out, but I've done this so much, I just can literally make a cigarette in the dark. So But aside from seeing me and smelling me that way, you probably wouldn't know I was there if I was hiding somewhere. It's a cultural gift. And it's a latent gift, and it's something that you don't really have to work for if you are born into it. So there's much you don't really have to work for if you are born into it or born to it. But it never hurts to practice anyway, whatever it is that you do. I just want to first say hi to my family, because I know they're going to see this. I miss the kids. I don't really directly address them or who they are, but I guess that's my privacy issue with them. But I do post an odd picture now and then on social media, and then later on I'll delete it. But hey, my kids know who they are, and I know who they are. And sadly, because of my own supernatural dreams and things that I've had in my own lifetime, which led me to other people posting about strange things and other creatures and cultures and beings that kidnap kids and so on. So I maintain privacy like that. I don't post my kids all over the place and say their names here and there. So if somebody wants to find out about them, they will. Just like if somebody wants to find out about me, they will on their own. Okay, now it's raining on me. But I'm tough. I've been looking a little bit on YouTube lately, and some of my own deep-seated memories, because I do post some things on Twitter or my other social medias, and had my 2 cents to say about life in general and some of my beliefs and who I am and where I come from. So I do have some deep-seated memories of a role or 2 or 3 that I have lived at one time or another. I do not believe that one life is it. Most religionists will say one life is it. Then you die and go back to God, and that's it. No. I failed some classes in school here and there, and I was given some homework to do over the weekend, or I had to retake summer school or something, and I had to retake another class or 2 for a few months, and other vocational pursuits. I had to extend some trainings that way. So from that experience there, which did help me learn and continue and progress, it taught me that life is what you make it, but life can also be something you can come back to under good circumstances. So to that end, all the reincarnation stuff, it agrees with me. I agree with it. All the religionist stuff I can agree with to an extent. You should have a good code of ethics and conduct to live by, and leave it at that. Of course, some people wish to take things to an extreme, and when I was a religionist at one time or another, I had some pretty hardcore beliefs too, and tried to make them happen, and did push myself upon other people. So I guess those are the regrets that I would have if there's just a couple here and there. Other than that, I have not wronged anyone, so I'm not a criminal, not a rapist or murderer or anyway, or anything like that. So but I have been looking at a few YouTube accounts, and I've been watching some other things on YouTube, and I'm on some other channels here and there on the internet, just because I'm curious about what other people have to say about some of their things that they have gone through, and to make them become who they are right now, today. And in a good way, that sets their future, and how they are going to continue on. As I continue throughout my day and every day in this beautiful state, I'm happy that there's a lot of people that I at least heard of that are continuing to live a good life and to be good people. So, but as always, everything that I think about now, and it always comes back to these teepees. It always comes back to my brown skin and to my black hair and to a feather or two that I may look at from time to time. Eagle feather or owl feather or little spruce hen feather, or some tufts off some tufts of fur off of some flea bag cats that anyway. But all of that is external, though. It's who I am inside that is what I am. It's who I am from the choices that I made, and my overall outlook on life. That is me. So, but it's interesting that, because in my culture I grew up hearing some of the horror stories about reptilians or lizard people or Sasquatch and Bigfoot and aliens and other weird things that most people would want to stay away from. And rightfully so, I guess. But if that is a part of you trying to find out more about any of that stuff, if it relates to you, then fine. And I guess if it helps you find out who you are, then we all have to embrace something in our past or our roots or what our parents made us become. And I'm happy to say I am human. So I am flawed. I'm not perfect. I obviously have a bad habit here, but as a veteran, as a lawman, I guess I have my rights to have a vice or two, and I'm glad that this is the only thing that I have. I have the alcohol gene that I addressed for about 7 hard years of partying, of drinking, quite heavily. But I don't do that anymore. I still joke from time to time about drinking, and on the internet, Drunk Sam always posts on Twitter or something. And my mom gets after me. You don't need to be talking about that stuff. Cut it out. She's unfriended me on Facebook so many times. And then she comes back because I'm her son. So it doesn't hurt to have a vice or something to help keep yourself in check. And I do address this on some of my text posts about why I keep myself down and I keep my spirit in check. It means and it says that if you totally become enlightened, your spirit's going to rise and your people are going to see it in you, or see something more, and then they're going to want stuff from you. Humans being humans, of course. Then they'll come to you, and I've been there to a degree and don't want that as much anymore as I used to, so I keep people away from me. I may post some skin or some tattooed chicks or whatever on my social media, but or porn or prawn or whatever you call it, but again, that's just to keep the weak people away from me. So true friends and true family and true whatnot will not be so easily swayed from you no matter who you are. They'll need to look at what you are totally, then make a judgment. So anyway, the last 20 years or so of my life, all of these pieces of the puzzle that I have been given and have been shown and have seen in dreams or actual visitations and face-to-face meetings with deity or with God or with someone else, has always been human and has always helped guide me and point me in the direction of my life. And I've lived a good life. I'm 50 years old right now. My birthday was last month in August. Oh, I wake up in the morning sometimes, can't move my legs or my arm, but it just has to do with the hard physical work that I had to do for a few years in military service, and a few points in between when I did other work, and I had to be in shape. So I'm proud of that and happy, but I can feel my age coming upon me. Of course, smoking doesn't help either, but nor does drinking coffee either. It gets rid of your teeth. I guess the bad thing right now, as far as having amalgam fillings, mercury fillings fall out of your head, when you get to be my age, then you start to lose a bit more of your teeth. So I just have a few front top teeth and some broken molars on the lower left side. I have to be careful how I chew hard foods, but I'm not quite ready to visit the dentist office yet for new teeth, but maybe in another decade I'll do that. So every time I drink coffee I have to laugh, because about last year, no, a few months ago, Mother saw me spooning some sugar into my coffee. Actually, I was pouring it. I was a barista at one time, and of course I've also eaten from big spoons and from just regular normal spoons, and so you all know how much a cup, a spoonful of sugar in your tea or coffee or whatever. Just one or two should be good. But I was literally pouring from one of these little dispensers. Sam, you're gonna fucking die! Stop putting so much sugar in your drink. In the same breath, she thrust out two chocolate Easter bunny candies that she found and gave to me. Okay, okay, Mom, thanks. I looked at her and then, okay, well, since I sit at the kitchen table in one spot for a while whenever I do go to Mom's house and visit, then I put my computer bag and whatever close by, and that's my little spot for a few hours. But if everyone's going to eat, then I move away and stand and eat, or eat later on when everyone leaves the table. So, oddly enough, when I went back a few hours later to my kitchen table spot, I didn't see any chocolate Easter bunnies. Well, I thought, okay, well, Mom's home, Dad's home. I know that accounts for one missing, but two? So, 2 chocolate Easter bunnies were gone. I only touched them when Mom handed it to me, and Sam, you're gonna fucking die. You're putting too much sugar in. And then she thrust out even more sugar at me, and that's my inside joke every time I drink coffee now, especially if I sweeten it up. But one of the children at the time, she always comes into the house whenever we adults are outside. And of course, children being children, they get into stuff. And stuff ends up missing. And matches turn up missing. My lighter turns up missing. Or so. And little burn or scorch marks are on the carpet somewhere. Or somewhere on the teepee. Or in the outhouse. And then we kind of put 2 and 2 together. And okay, well, we got to watch our stuff even more. So, but one of the children was a little hopped up more than usual for a few hours suddenly, and okay, well, that explains where the other chocolate Easter bunny went to. So it went to a tiny precious little body that fueled her up for a couple of hours and then gave her a headache, and she was very grouchy and cranky. But kids are kids. So I hope they grow up with better teeth than I do. Anyway, I just thought I'd post something and talk, and I go out and find YouTube videos and I patiently sit through them, and because of a downloader app on my Firefox, I get to pull stuff off of YouTube, things that I like, and so I respectfully do that with certain people's videos, and so I know someone's going to sit through mine and listen to my monotone voice. But if you want to find out some things, just read what I have posted. Of course, you'll have to scroll on the little elevator all the way down, like scroll back thousands of posts, and then start reading up on Twitter, because I do that with a few people that I like on Twitter, and I scroll down on their page and then I read up and sort through all the stuff they post. But like I said, buyer beware, reader beware. Some things that I may post or forward you might not like, but that's not my problem. It just keeps the weak and judgmental people away from me. So if there's too much skin, well, you shouldn't be in, eh? My timeline. For a while, I've opened up another Facebook. I opened up my little account so anyone can friend request me, and if you think that you can put up with my shenanigans, and I guess for the time being I will consider you and then possibly let you in. There have been some former friends and associates and whatnot that I don't let on my accounts anymore. Some people have made promises to show up and visit, and I know they have means to do so. because I know them, and I see what other people can do and have done for someone that they really want to go visit or see or whatnot. So if I'm not a priority, then neither are you. That's all I have to say. I do not whine about it or complain about it. That's just life. But I know that whatever is, is. And I move on. I saw this absence of family several years ago. When I met a few people up here in Alaska for the first time, I saw some things that they are going through, or what has happened to some of them later on in life. It is the Creator that gives you these gifts. We all have them. Whether you accept them or not, or whether you attribute your gifts and talents and so on to a church or to a specific God or to a specific philosophy or other teachings, that's your business. But I always say on my recent Twitter for the last 2 years or 3 years now, it's you. It's no one else but you. First, it should be you that you look to, and it should be you that you need to believe in, and it is you that is ultimately responsible for you, not anyone else. But then in the same breath, I would turn around and start talking about Lakota stuff. Well, I'm still keeping on a tradition in some way, and of course the way is known only to me right now, about hunter-gatherer and keeping the culture alive within me and my family for first and foremost reasons known, or reasons for me. My life is not over yet. I'm going to still be here for another 100 years or so. In another 50 years, I will have different teeth unless I decide to let the technologies that is within these devices that I have in my yard help me. But I cannot, as you say, have powers and then help myself. I've got to do things for other people. And regrettably, no one wants to come visit or be a part of my life for a while and actually sit down and meditate and be a friend and experience what I experience, because that can literally happen. But no one has. And that's fine. You can't make people do what you want them to do, because no one is making me do things that I don't want to do. I'm 50 years old. I should still be working for a few more years. And some people in this village that I live in, they resent me because I'm driving around in my stepdad's new pickup truck and I'm using the four-wheelers that belong to my parents or to my grandma. And I'm eating their food and I was officially working since I was 12 in the summertime, getting a little paycheck or so for the summer, or once or twice during the summertime. So I've fed into the system since the early 1980s. I've paid my taxes and I've worked pretty much every year since then, except for the 2 years when I was a missionary for some corporation masquerading as a church. But that was my own business. I was brought up in some Christian type families, and this organization that I was a member of for a while, they took me off to a reservation and put me into a white foster home. And it was white people that essentially welcomed me into their home, and it was the white culture that helped also foundationalize me, besides the first 10 years of my life with my own biological family. And I had that debt to pay, or I had to do something to say thank you for all of the things that this corporation church did for me. So, but that also had some good things to do with my life being the way it is. So I can now speak out in a good way against, I guess, religion in general, if it wants you to give all of your money to it and all of your time, and go broke and hungry and homeless like I did with the corporation cult. So that life is not for me. So, but if it is that way for you, that's fine. Just whatever you choose to follow and live, just do your best for a while. And if it's not for you, don't do that. Move on. But all my life I have had these strange experiences. I saw the spirit world. I saw the other side. I would step over to the other side. People nowadays call it astral projection. People call it out-of-body experience. People call it, well, yeah, just out-of-body experience. And you go to the astral plane, and you go to another dimension. You step outside your body, and hey, you're free to run around. You're free to move about the country. And now, a quiet master of such things, it happens when I am awake. And if you want to have questions or things like that on that subject, just look it up yourself. I can't question and answer people. We all have different experiences. But all my life I've seen things that had nothing to do with anyone's corporation God or corporation Christ. And I had experiences that really had nothing to do with anything of this world. But it had everything to do with a prime creator, or with the creator of all. And that's what I've been telling people on my social media. It's you. You have to find yourself. You are already complete and whole. You are already everything that you want to be in life. I drank my coffee up. Ziggy. Ziggy and Iggy are my two cats. And you are everything. You just have to accept that in your mortality, in your mortal body, you don't know all the answers. We come into life with the veil drawn over our minds. We have a level playing field in that manner. If you wish to progress and be spiritual and find out some things about yourself, that's fine. I've done that. And I commend anyone who does such things. When you are enlightened, I guess if that's the term to use, when you are awake, that's another popular term people use, then the first thing that changes is you. And if other people see you, then maybe they'll want to do something better for themselves. But it's always you. Find for you. Accept you. And make that connection from your mortality. That this body that you wear, your skin, your face, your culture that you are in, your language that you speak, your skin color, your hair, your eyes, your gender. Accept that. Love it. Don't infringe upon other people for the skin that they are in. Creator, or whatever you call your higher power, or a higher power, or whatever, wants you to be happy in life. You have to decide for yourself, without criminal means or ends, and without deeply infringing upon other people's liberties and rights. You have to allow them the same things that can happen to you, if these are good things. I've looked at a lot of YouTube postings, though, just for my own curiosity, but it's also a way to just show some support about other people and to other people. But I am already set and secure in my own way right now. Just because I'm looking at reptilian people now and hybrids and so on, and looking at some of these other people that are from Andromeda or Pleiades or Arcturus or from the dark side of the moon, that's fine. But it doesn't mean that I believe in all of that stuff. I keep telling people, as recently as a few months ago, or a year ago, or 2 years ago, it's you. Find for you something. Open yourself up. And if you are open, and Creator, or whoever your higher power is, deems you ready and worthy, then they will show you. And they will tell you. And a true God, I guess, a true messenger, a true personage from the other side, will visit you face to face, will shake your hand, will hug you. They will commune with you. They will talk with you. You can ask them anything you want that's in your heart. So in that way, I don't look at religion anymore. There is no middleman between me and Creator. There is no prophet. There is no Messiah. There is no Savior between me and my God. Anyway, that's what I feel. And that's what I know. But I only know it for myself. So I would hope that you all, if you are searching for something, just listen to other people out there to see what they're doing and learn something, and then, hey, take that ball and run with it. That's what I've done with a lot of things. Anyway, I'll talk more about these Lakota teepees, because I do allude to some things that I am currently pursuing, and I've already seen timeline of this earth. I've already seen some things about creation from beginning to end. But I'm here in the village. It's just like having a tour about this village or this state and every person that was in it. It doesn't mean that my reality or my truth is yours. You got to find your own. But for what I've sought out regarding just about anything that was on my mind, I have already received a lot of answers regarding those things. I'm comfortable being here. I'm comfortable not working right now, because I have worked for the last 30-something years. But I'm presently waiting for family to get home again, so that if I need some funds to take a truck or so down the road and stay overnight in a hotel, motel, or whatever, and visit some schools or to get my plans going once again to get into a truck driving school, then I will do that. But I can't really do that when there's no one here to feed my beloved pets, Iggy and Ziggy. And there's no one to watch the house and feed my dog or my neighbor's dog, because I'm not really close to people here in this village in that manner like things should be. There again, you know, I'm strange. People stay away from me for their own reasons. And they are entitled to their opinions and their reasons for whatever. I don't take that away from them. I'm looking at my other teepee, and I'm looking at these little hula hoops, because I've been doing some native dance practice now and then. So pay attention to what I say about some native things. But I also, in my text and in my speech and what I say, when you go back far enough, it no longer becomes a native thing. It no longer becomes a black thing. It no longer becomes a yellow man thing or a white person thing. Then it becomes a humanity or a human thing, because that's who we descend from. That is who we are. But then again, you have to look at some cultures, and some people are full blood, full native, full black, full Hispanic, full whatever. And then you have some half-breeds or 3/4 or 1/4 or mixed. And you have to look at those things in the perspective of other creatures that are alive in this world and in this universe as well. But don't take my word for it. You have to find that out for yourself. Anyway, I'll be out here a few nights or so. I'll be at my house too, standing around a few hours every night. Sometimes I will arm myself. Sometimes I'll just take a impact tool of some kind, or a jawbone or a little leg bone or something, and go stand in the darkness and smoke and look at the sky. Whether it's summer or winter, I do that. And there's a reason why I do that. It's because I am aware that some things in this world exist. And on the physical, I'm ready. On the spiritual, I am ready. Of course, I don't bring those energies out and any more than just thinking about such things and being aware of it, because it is in my blood and in my culture. All of these strange things in this world. And that's about it. But I don't seek out visitations from anything, and don't want any visitations or anything, but I am prepared. There is truth to these things that these New Age people say. When you have to find yourself and ground and center yourself and find out everything about spirit and your aura and all these chakras and zones of the body and the spirit, and putting out some type of field or field of light and layer it and extend it out from you. And there's some truth to all of those things. Enlightenment is not always in religion. It's not always in the Bible or any other book of scripture. Ultimately, it should come from you and tailor it to you. And when you do so, your source or your power that comes from something else and something good in this universe will prepare you specifically for many things. So in that sense, that's what I mean when I post what I post. Alright, I'm gonna put this on my computer. I'm gonna roll another cigarette. I'm gonna pet my flea-bitten cats. So I'm quite proud of these structures. I can't say enough about them. One of our family friends actually gave or sold this to my parents. We put it up. When I say that these are living things, they are. But they're just shells, just like your body is. You inhabit your body. But if a culture is appropriate for you, if lineage and teachings and stuff are given to you, if you prove yourself, you will be given artifacts, you will be given some advanced knowledge, you will be given some things for you to better yourself and prepare yourself for your future. And of course, if some people don't want to share in that, tough shit, that's their problem. That's their problem, that's their loss, not yours, not mine. But I can't say enough about these. It's so cool to sit inside one of these structures and meditate. It's so cool to go to sleep. Your dreams are strange, your dreams are wonderful. Some people think that when they die and go to the other side, they're going to be in heaven and that they're going to be in bliss. And yes, death is a release. It's a release from the mortal cares and worries. It's release from a lot of stressful things that really don't matter. And your spirit goes back to that God that created you. You go back to your higher self. You go back to that God that you already are. To that creator that you already are. You just have to let yourself believe it. That's it. So study up what you can about other things strange, weird, and wonderful. Whatever your culture is. Right now we are in the edge of a circle. Right now we are on the edge of a ball, a structure, a sphere, and the vortex goes up, then starts to go out and up to the other teepee, to the other funnel, and then it goes back round again. Goes up, goes back round again, or it goes the other way. It shifts, it changes. The answers to life are right in front of you for you natives. When you drain the sink, when you watch the swimming pool drain and see the vortex go down, if you have a teepee, then you will see some of those, or a few of those specific sacred geometry structures right in front of you. And transpose that over to one of your teepees. It's very real. And that's why I like being Lakota, why I like being native. I descend from people, hunters, gatherers. In the eyes of the world, we didn't have shit inside these teepees. Just a few belongings. But that speaks volumes of the kind of people that we were. We had everything inside ourselves. Inside ourselves. And in your own way, in your own culture, you have to have that ability and all that knowledge for you. You need to find it. Like I have found mine, and I'm still finding much more. Anyway, when shit hits the fan, and it will pretty soon, all things will be revealed. To me, for me, hopefully for you, whatever you have in life to look for. And hopefully I'll have some new teeth if somebody else should come up and activate some things and help heal me. Help me keep my sobriety, help me keep my cigarettes, craving at bay and everything else. But nobody wants to share. And that's the sad thing. We all need to pull together and become one people. In all things, for the betterment of ourselves and for society in general. So, thank you for your time.